Hey everyone, I hope you're well, and a very warm welcome to my subscribers as always. Okay, so right here is the box in which this comes in. Let's get this cracking. So it comes pretty well packed, pretty sturdy. This is nice. So we have this whole pack with the cables. So we have the, I believe, the power cable right here, the power external power cable, and here we have a bunch of cables for like a display port, USB-C, display port, HDMI. So this is pretty good. It's always good to have wires that in case you didn't have any. So that is good. Here is the stand. It's pretty hefty. It's metallic too, by the sound of it, but I will not be unboxing this because I have no intention of using it. I'm pretty sure some of you must have already seen the other unboxings of this monitor. So I believe this is a nice blue stand right here with the flexible mount here. So I'm just not gonna bother with this. I'm just gonna take out the star of the show, the monitor now. Here is the monitor. Now I know that a lot of people on the internet have complained about this monitor of having an uneven lighting and some blue areas. I hope my monitor will not have the same problem. I'm in early May right now when I've just bought it, so I'm hoping that the comments were from early batches and not from a more recent one. To be fair, I think that this looks like a returned unit to me because the box was kind of, the Scotch tape was a bit removed on the sides, and I don't know if there was any kind of film, because I can already see that on this monitor the film has been removed. So here you go. So there's no protective film here. I don't know if there's one or not. I haven't seen this in the other reviews of this monitor, but if there is supposed to be a film here that you remove, well then this is definitely a returned unit. So let's have a look. It looks really, really nice. So one of the reasons why I also, of course, like aesthetics are a bit important. It's not the be all, the end all, but I guess it's still nice, something that's going to be on your desk for a very long time. I personally hate the chins and things like on Asus monitors or other monitors. I just like my monitors being monolithic, a simple frame. I just personally love this clean design. And you can see right here on the Dell right there. I'm just going to move my keyboard here. There you go. So I'm just going to close down my, there you go. So here, there's no chin. It's completely a nice design, all square, nothing. And that's exactly why I wanted to go for the 6K. It really goes well, I think, with this monitor right here in terms of design. So yeah, let's have a look of how this is going to be. So I'm gonna go with the VESA mount on here. Let me quickly show that to you. I'm gonna turn this, flip the monitor around. Let's do a quick tour here. There's a Kensington lock right there. This is your display port, your HDMI. You have your two Thunderbolt 5 ports, and then you've got 3 regular USB-C. Most of them are power delivery, and this is your power cable. And there is no audio jack, unfortunately. This monitor has built-in speakers, but it's always good because right now on my current setup with my Dell, which comes with a lot of connectivity options, there's also a jack for my Altec Lansing stereo speakers, so that's nice because I really like these speakers, and they're pretty they've served me pretty well. So I don't know how good the speaker of this one will be. So let's see. I'm hoping that I'll be able to daisy chain. So my goal is to take Thunderbolt 5 here, which is retro compatible with DisplayPort MST, which works with normally the Dell. So I can normally, hopefully, daisy chain the Dell off of this monitor, and then I'll be able to use some of the hub features of the Dell with the audio jack to be able to keep my stereo system there and not use the speakers of this monitor. And technically, I should also be able to daisy chain off of the Dell and maybe keep my ViewSonic here also, so I will have 3 monitors. My PC has a 5090 in it, so normally it should be powerful enough. I will be using for this one the VESA mount that came with my Dell monitor arms, and I'm hoping that this thing will work, and looks like it's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty standard. So if any of you are watching and have already a Dell monitor arm like mine, it's a very old one. I bought it in 2012. It's served its purpose very well. And so if you had the built-in VESA mount adapter that came with it, well, just know that you can also use it here. The screws are aligning perfectly here. These are pretty much standard, so this is good. I'm glad. So in the box, we have one HDMI cable. We have one DisplayPort cable. We have the Thunderbolt 5 USB cable. That's cool. We have another USB-C Thunderbolt cable, I believe, or maybe not this one. Yeah, I think, oh yeah, this one it is, with the charging capability right here. There's a Thunderbolt cable with the Lightning logo right here. And this is just a regular USB-C. And then you have your power brick right here. And then you have the cable for the power brick. And finally, you have the energy consumption, right? So let me just plug this all in and let's get started. So this is now the monitor all plugged in. I've only connected my desktop PC for the time being in it. I'm just trying to see if there's, I hope, not too much light bleed compared to, for example, the Dell, or just, compared to, I would say, just the standard. So now this is the monitor that is all plugged in with connected to my PC tower for the time being. And now we're just going to go and check. I hope there's no dead pixel, there's not too much light bleed, whatever. I'm really, really looking forward to the experience on this 6K monitor. And now I have my Dell here on the left-hand side. That is going to be just like so, coming to it. As you can see, both of them are looking pretty nice side by side. And this is going to be giving a lot of screen real estate, especially on this one with this impressive 6K resolution. So now I have plugged the 6K directly into my NVIDIA 5090 on my tower. So I'm just going to log in now, and we're going to see, just by looking at this log screen, I could definitely see there's a big difference compared to the Dell in terms of color, but that is most likely the default profile right now that is set. So let's see. I'm quite happy actually that seamlessly the Linux Fedora here 43 has detected automatically the monitor. I was thinking that this is might be a bit more complicated because it's Linux. And so right now I need to set up the daisy chain with the Dell, but I'm not sure if this is going to work or not. I've already plugged in everything. I'm just going to see if this is going to work or not. But just by looking at the screen right now for the time being, yeah, it is definitely looking good. The colors are much more vivid right now from what I can see. And yeah, let's take it for a spin. So I'm going to go also into Windows and show you how gaming looks like it on this in terms of color. But let me just look at the resolution. So let me just zoom in here a bit to show you. As you can see right here, I hope this is going to be visible on the camera right here. Yeah, like so. So right now, 6,144 by 33456, 16 by 9 ratio, 16 megahertz for the refresh rate. Scale is at 200%. So let's go to 100% and see. Okay, let's apply that. And boy, you can see. So let me come back to normal zoom. This is how it is in full native 6K resolution. It is a bit small, definitely, but wow, look. I mean, if I just bring in now here, let's say a Firefox here, just to give you an idea. There you go. And I'm just going to go on to whatever website here. Distro Watch. There you go. So yeah, and I'm just going to zoom in here a bit. There you go. So let's see how many windows, so I'm just going to open up a couple of windows here. There you go. So yeah, like really a lot of screen real estate, which is very, very nice. Definitely like it. Now, am I going to be using this at 100% resolution? Definitely not. I think it's just way too small. In terms of, so I'm going to bring this back into, let's say, a higher scaling here. So let's say 150. I'm pretty glad that, it's working. The scaling is working pretty well in GNOME. So that is very nice. And let's have and just look at the font here. Boy, it's very, very smooth. I love it. So I think we're north of 220, maybe 224 PPI here. So we're definitely in the Retina, I would say, territory here. And this is just excellent in terms of quality of experience and the pleasure of looking at things. Let me just quickly have a comparison here also and see how good the colors are. So let me go back into here and just have change here the background. Let's try this one. So now I'm complete pitch black here, pretty much, and I just wanted to see the quality of the screen here. As you can see in the image, I can definitely see on the camera here, and even myself. So there is just too much blooming going on here and here on the right hand side. This is very unfortunate because, so this is of course on a dark screen, so I'm not hoping for OLED type of quality here, but nevertheless, there's a bit of blue fringing here. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. I think it will show on the camera. And unfortunately, so anything that's going to be a dark black, I fear that it's not going to be a great experience because there's just going to be too much color shifting going on. So let me see. So obviously, as soon as you move away from a pitch black background, let's say, or a very dark background, then it's okay. But as you can see, like if you're in a dark background, there's just too much going on, and the colors are really, really good. I definitely see the difference between my Dell and I'm not saying that the Dell is also an IPS black, but mind you, it's like a 4 or 5 year old screen already now, the Dell. And this one's like 9 months coming to, let's say, a year old. But I would still be expecting that from a year old monitor and a much more expensive monitor compared to the Dell, that I would be getting still, I would say just a better experience in terms of the lighting. So I would say that if I would not be using any kind of dark, say, black background, I think this monitor is looking really, really good in terms of resolution, of how crisp the font is here. And that's like, I do a lot of coding, and this is like my main thing. I read a lot. I spend a lot, 8 hours, 10 hours a day working from home and also on my own personal projects. So for me, having this comfort in terms of font and everything is paramount. And that was the reason why I bought this monitor. And the colors are looking really good. So I'm just gonna now play with the settings in terms of the color. So I'm just gonna go back to maybe a more colorful wallpaper, right? So I'm gonna turn this off, and I'm gonna just cycle through the different modes here. So this is custom, and now I'm going into Vivid. So this is Vivid. This is Studio One. Studio 2. Maybe let me try to give maybe a different kind of background here. Maybe go back here to the mountains. So Studio 3, I don't see much difference here. HDR effect. This kind of added a kind of like a blue layer on it, but it looks very decent, looks very nice. Let's go into cinema here. Okay, let's try to find some content here. The colors are really, really good. They are very nice. It's really a shame that there's just so much blooming going on here. So I wanted to double check if the daisy chaining was working with the LG on the right hand side and my Dell, and as you can see, it's working pretty well. And right now I'm using my Mac here. So this is a M1 Max Thunderbolt 4, I believe. So that is a Thunderbolt 5, and there's no Thunderbolt here, but there is through MST DisplayPort over USB-C, and Thunderbolt 5 is retro compatible with that. So as you can see, that this is working pretty well. On the left hand side, my Dell has been completely recognized. My Razer keyboard and my Razer mouse are plugged to the Dell, and the whole signal is working flawlessly. Fortunately, like Thunderbolt setup is working great, and even if your monitor, like here, my Dell does not have Thunderbolt, it has DisplayPort over USB-C. The main problem is that you need your Activate on the LG. The main first Thunderbolt port 1 needs to be used, like how I've plugged in my Mac into the LG, and then you get in the menu an option to turn on Thunderbolt out for the second port downstream USB-C link. So if you are in a situation like mine, where I have my other Razer laptop, which is an AMD CPU, and my desktop tower is also an AMD, no Thunderbolt there. Unfortunately, the DisplayPort will work, and I can plug directly my Dell into my tower, and then the 5090 can drive both simultaneously, so there's no problem there. So here, what I would like to show you is that the difference in terms of HDR. So right now in the monitor on the LG on the right-hand side, I've selected HDR effect. And right now, normally I'm also in HDR because I went into the menu of the Dell and it says I have to deactivate HDR content here first before I can change that. So it seems like I'm also in HDR here on the left-hand side on the Dell. And both screens are at 100% native resolution. I just want to give you an indication and show you. So 4K, 6K. Look at how the screens, the size of that window changes. 6K, 4K. So yeah, you can see how massive the change becomes. Now let's have a look at also maybe just in terms of color. I'm just going to show you different wallpapers. Scroll through them and just going to try to minimize here. There you go. So let's try here in terms of background. Let me show you different types of background and see the color here. So you got the LG on the right. I mean, this is beautiful. I don't know why I shouldn't have activated the HDR, because right now this screen on the left is not doing justice to the Dell. The Dell is, the colors are very pastel. They're very muted in HDR. I don't know, for some reason, but this one on the right-hand side, LG is HDR, and the colors look beautiful. I mean, they are really, really good. You can clearly, I mean, on the camera, I can see that clearly, like this is much more vivid, and this is definitely more muted. But personally, I think the Dell has worked well for me. But this, of course, is at a different level, and you would hope so, of course, right? It's still IPS black. This is also an IPS black panel, but technology has evolved. You know, 1,700 euros. I think I paid this one 1,200 euros when it came out, and so yeah. So I hope that this kind of is giving you some kind of idea in terms of monitor quality. And I haven't calibrated this. This is just out of the box how it is. And I've turned off HDR on both sides. I've made sure that in the NVIDIA app that both displays are using their maximum capabilities in terms of color coverage and everything. So on the right-hand side, you have the LG. On the left-hand side, you have the Dell U3223. The colors here. So I'm going to go into personalize. In the meanwhile, I've just increased the resolution because that was a bit too drastic, the 100% native in 6K. You just literally need binoculars to be able to figure out things. So let's see. So now you can see on the left-hand side, it is much less muted. I don't know why the Dell does that in HDR. It just goes into a very muted. But yeah, you can see here the clouds here are way more, I would say, color rich, and I'm just going to move it right in the middle so that it's fair also for the Dell and see. So let's go here. I mean, both are nice looking. It's just a bit more muted on the left, but I like both. It's the colors are definitely more punchy on the right hand side with the LG. But I think that the Dell for a 5-year-old screen, which you know, it's holding its own. I think it's pretty good. And you can see now that I've turned off HDR and I've just like done the custom and like made sure that in the NVIDIA app both displays are getting their maximum coverage capabilities. The Dell is good. I mean, definitely the color rendition on the right hand side, I think the panel is better. The IPS black, the technology has evolved, naturally speaking. So. And that's what I would expect, like, you know, like paying more to get less, you know, that would be a bit of a bummer in terms of at least panel quality. But like I said, the blooming here and everything, it's a shame.